David Becker, welcome to Innerviewworld.com.
Thank you. Nice to
It
be
is
here.
a pleasure to have you here.
It's my pleasure to come.
Let's get started with a little background.
Okay.
You're originally from the Midwest,
Right.
but you have adopted Germany as your home?
At the moment, yes. I've been living in Germany now for the past almost 14 years. Wuppertal, Germany's been my home. That's very close to Düsseldorf, on the west part of the country. It's very close to the Dutch and Belgian border.
What's the music scene in Germany like these days?
Well, pretty much the way it's always been. It's very eclectic, and there are many people from the States who tour there every year because there's just a big audience for all kinds of music. It's great because the audiences are really intuitive and they really listen to every note. I started my career there when I grew up in Southern California. I went to school here, and after I'd finished GIT, which is now called Musicians Institute, I decided to go to Europe because I didn't think that LA was the place for me to start a career as a jazz guitar player. It wasn't just the music, it was a combination of the cultural aspects that I was familiar with to some degree, although you never really know them until you live there. And the fact that some of the music that I liked to listen to, some of the musicians had been working over there or were Europeans, so that kind of drew me there. And ultimately I'd gone over there quite a bit and started doing little tours and getting my brother involved and hoping to get a record deal when I was about 19 or 20. Had very encouraging response from a lot of labels, small jazz labels. But it gave me enough incentive to go back and put a tour together. It was August of '84, which is the worst time to tour for anybody because it's the vacation time for all of the Europeans. But I didn't know that. And I got these gigs in Munich and Berlin, and for some reason people came to see us. It was packed, and the radio picked up our little EP and just started a little buzz, and so that led to coming back to the States and working the East Coast and kind of developing a following and ultimately getting signed to MCAs. It was sort of, I went through the back door. Since that time, we toured America pretty constantly from '84 until '92. And then in '92, my brother and I decided, let's just go over there and see what's going on, culturally and musically.
When you build in Europe, are you an American jazz artist?
That's an interesting question. People know me there in Germany as the American guitar player who lives in Germany. And sometimes it's my advantage to speak German, and sometimes it's my advantage to speak English, and I have to kind of know when that is. Whenever a record comes out, especially in the area that I'm touring, the newspapers always write something very, very complimentary about it and support the gig, and therefore the gig is sold out or full, which is great, and I don't have to do much other than let them know that we're touring.
Your band is called Tribune.
Yes.
Can you give us a little insight of the genesis of that name?
The idea for me actually started off when I was 19, and I wanted to compose my own music because I've always been composing, and my brother is my lifelong musical partner. We have had a very interesting relationship, and I wanted to have him in the band, and we got a bass player. And the bass player at the time, he thought Tribune was an interesting word, and I liked it because it means actually unity, and a tribunal is a three-man government, and because I'm the composer and the main, whatever you want to call it, it's the David Becker Tribune. But when that actually has become synonymous, not just with me, but also with Bruce, who's the drummer, my brother. And many people know Bruce, they know that he is. In fact, whenever you read things in the press, it always says David with his brother Bruce, that's the Tribune.
Can we talk about your travels?
Sure.
Most recently to Argentina?
Yeah, I'm actually coming up on my 7th trip in the last 2.5 years. There's many funny stories which relate to the new album. For instance, the song Racing Through the Andes is a true story. I was in Rio Gallegos. We played a concert, we did a clinic, and we were to fly the next day to Buenos Aires and drive to La Plata. And I'm sitting in a small little car with Daniel here in the passenger seat, the driver from the cultural department. He had these mad sunglasses like an Italian race car driver with his slick back hair. The guy next to me is a friend of Daniel's who also works for the cultural department, and he smiled and he said, "We're going to see the Andes." I thought, oh, great. And I figured from a distance, because way in the distance you could see these little peaks, but they were sort of coming closer and closer. and the road starts going up, but you don't realize you're going up. Well, there, I mean, the roads are narrow, first of all, and there were trucks coming at full speed, and this guy was driving as fast as he could, and we were skidding back and forth because of the ice. And I thought to myself, that's it. That's it. I mean, I might as well just, I'm going to die on this road. It's over. And of course, the guy next to me is laughing because we're going to see the mountains. Daniel is petrified. He's never been in the Andes before, and the guy's and he had put this cassette tape in of some rock band from the 70s, really loud, to motivate him to drive, Finally, we got over this top of whatever was the pass, and we're in this beautiful valley in the middle of the Andes. I mean, you could see Lake Argentina, and you see these rock peaks, and we're, of course, slowing down because we're going down, and the snow was gone, and I felt relaxed, like, okay, we made it, and I thought to myself, the hell with the clinic. Stop, I just want to sit here and look at the view.
So what is next for David Becker? Do you have places in mind for travel?
Yes, yeah, I mean, we're talking to Japan and Korea, and also I had contact with someone in South Africa. So, and wherever we can play. I mean, my motto is wherever there's a gig, I'll go. I love to travel and love to meet new people and new places, and I'm very fortunate that I still do this. I mean, if you think about the number of people who make music, and I know guys that have played for many, many years, great musicians, who haven't had the opportunity to release recordings or to go play their own music, I feel very fortunate. And any chance I get to go, wherever I can go, I will go.